There's a moment right before a kiss when time slows down and every man is hoping, praying for one thing, not just your lips, but your words. Because the right words, they unlock something deep, something primal, something unforgettable. You might think a kiss is just about timing or chemistry, but for a man, it's also about how he's made to feel in that one electric moment. In this video, we're diving deep into the 5 powerful words every man secretly longs to hear before that kiss ever happens. These 6 words might sound simple, but they carry a weight that reaches deep into the masculine soul. When a woman says this to a man, especially in a vulnerable moment, right before a kiss, it strikes a chord that echoes far beyond the physical. It's not just about affection or romance. It's about validation, respect, and purpose. Men are wired to protect, to provide, to be the fortress in chaos. This isn't about societal roles or outdated thinking. It's about something embedded in the male psyche since the beginning of time. A man doesn't just want to be desired, he wants to be trusted. He wants to feel like his presence brings calm to your storm, like his arms are your safest place, and his intentions are your reassurance. So when you look into his eyes, lean in just a little closer and say, "I trust you with me," you're doing something far more intimate than touching his skin, you're touching his spirit. You're telling him that you recognize the strength behind his gentleness, the power beneath his silence, the integrity within his actions. And for a man who may have gone his whole life feeling like he has to constantly prove his worth, to perform, to fight for his place in the world, those words are sacred. They're a soft landing in a hard world. You're not just saying you trust him with your body in that moment. You're saying you trust him with your emotions, your energy, your vulnerability. It's an invitation, a beautiful declaration that says, you're enough. And that's all any man really wants, to be enough for the one he's drawn to. Because deep down, every man fears being disposable, replaceable, unseen. But with those words, you silence that fear, you replace it with purpose. He will hold you differently after hearing them. He'll kiss you with more depth. He'll feel the need to live up to that trust, not because you demanded it, but because you gifted it. And when a man feels trusted, he rises. He leads better. He loves deeper. He stops second guessing and starts becoming. So if the moment is right, if the energy is real, and your heart is steady, say it. Let your voice carry the kind of honesty that shakes him out of autopilot and into awareness. Because "I trust you with me" isn't just a sentence, it's a sacred spark. And sometimes that's all it takes to turn a simple kiss into something unforgettable. These 5 words may seem soft, but to a man, they carry a kind of power that's hard to explain. Safety to most people sounds like protection from harm. But for a man hearing this from a woman, especially in a moment of intimacy, it's so much more than that. It's confirmation. It tells him that his presence, his energy, his choices, all of it, have created something that very few people ever truly give: peace. See, a lot of men walk through life feeling like they have to fight to be understood, to be heard, to be seen as more than just what they do or what they provide. But when a woman looks at him, leans in and softly says, "I feel safe here," it hits different. It tells him he's doing something right, not just externally, but at the core of who he is. It means you feel emotionally safe. You're not walking on eggshells. You're not holding back or pretending to be someone else. You're not waiting for the moment to break. You're present, relaxed, real. And that's a reflection of him. You're saying, "With you, I can breathe." And when a man hears that, it inspires him to be even more steady, even more grounded. It makes him want to show up stronger, not out of pressure, but out of pride. This isn't just about physical safety, it's about spiritual alignment. When a woman says she feels safe, she's saying, "My feminine energy can fully open around you." And that's everything, because when a woman feels safe, she softens, she glows, she connects. And for a man, that is the highest reward. Not control, not conquest, but connection. It takes strength to be the kind of man who creates that space. It takes discipline, patience, consistency. So when you acknowledge that, when you name it, You're speaking to the warrior in him. You're saying, you didn't fail. You didn't fall short. You've built something solid here, and I see it. And in a world where men are constantly questioned, criticized, and told to man up, those words cut through the noise and land like truth. So don't underestimate the power of saying, I feel safe here. Say it when the silence is heavy. Say it when his arms are around you. Say it when your eyes meet and the world fades away. Say it with your voice, your body, your gaze, because when a man knows you feel safe in his presence, he won't just protect you, he'll honor you. And in that space, right before the kiss, those 5 words can turn fleeting passion into lasting respect, because safety, real safety, is rare. And when you give that acknowledgement, you give him the greatest motivation there is to keep being the man who made you feel that way. There's something electrifying about those words. To a man, they don't just feel like a compliment, they feel like a revelation. In a world that often feels dull, repetitive, or disconnected, hearing this from a woman hits with the force of lightning, because what you're really saying is, you matter. You stir something in me no one else does. And for a man who wants not just to be loved, but felt, that's everything. Men aren't just looking for attention or physical attraction. Deep down, they're craving impact. They want to know that their presence doesn't just blend into the background noise of your day, but that it actually moves you, that being around them shifts your energy, lifts your spirit, pulls you out of your head and into the moment. When you say, you make me feel alive, you're telling him that he's not ordinary, that he's not just checking boxes or filling a space. You're saying he ignites something in you, something wild, something beautiful, something real. And that acknowledgement gives him more confidence than any praise about looks or status ever could. See, aliveness is about emotion. It's about energy. When a man knows he makes you feel, whether it's joy, passion, laughter, curiosity, or even a little bit of nervous excitement, he feels like he's fulfilling a purpose. He's not just being seen, he's being experienced. And that makes him feel powerful in the most grounded, masculine way. You don't have to say it with grand gestures. Sometimes it's the way your eyes light up when he walks into the room, the way your voice changes when you're excited to tell him something, the way you lose track of time in his presence. And when you wrap all that emotion into a simple sentence, you make me feel alive. You give him something to live up to and something he wants to protect. Because to a man, knowing that he brings life to you, joy, thrill, meaning, is the kind of feedback that fuels his soul. It tells him that he's not wasting time, that his efforts, his energy, his existence matter. And when a man feels like he matters, he doesn't just stay, he shows up fully. So when that intimate moment builds and you're close enough to speak truth into his heart, don't hold back. Look him in the eyes with that playful, sincere energy and say it. You make me feel alive. Because in that moment, you're not just describing a feeling, you're giving him a reason to remember you, to protect that connection, and to kiss you like you're the only thing that makes him feel alive too. When a woman says these words to a man, something shifts, time slows, the world fades. It's not just flattery, it's significance. In a single sentence, you're telling him that this moment, this connection, he is different. And nothing speaks louder to the masculine spirit than the idea of being the one who changed everything. Men live for meaning. They may act tough, logical, focused, but underneath it all, they long to matter, to be the one who awakens something new, something unexpected, something powerful in a woman. When you say, I've never felt this way, you hand him that meaning on a silver platter. You're not just expressing how you feel, you're elevating him. You're saying, out of all the people, all the moments, all the experiences, this is unlike any of them, and you are the reason why. That's magnetic. It draws him in. It challenges him to rise. It makes him feel. And for many men who are rarely invited into emotional spaces, that kind of depth is unforgettable. This phrase is powerful because it speaks to rarity. It tells him he's not just another man in a long line of interactions. He's the exception. He evokes something in you that's unfamiliar, and that unfamiliarity is what excites him. It means he's uncovered a new side of you, a softer side, a wilder side, maybe even a side of you you didn't know existed until he arrived. Men don't just want to be loved, they want to be remembered. And "I've never felt this way" suggests he's creating a memory that will last. It plants a seed in his mind. What we have is rare, maybe even once in a lifetime. And that seed, it grows. It makes him think about you when you're not around. It makes him want to protect the connection. It makes him see you not just as someone beautiful, but as someone meaningful. The key is authenticity. Don't say it just to say it. Say it when it's real. Let it come from the pause in your breath, from the rush in your heartbeat. Say it when his touch lingers a little longer, when his presence stirs your soul, when the moment asks for truth. Let your tone carry both wonder and certainty, because when he hears it and he feels it, something inside him will anchor to you. "I've never felt this way." It's a whisper of discovery, a signal that says, you're doing something no one else has done, and in that moment, right before the kiss, you make him feel not just wanted, but extraordinary. And trust me, that's a feeling no man forgets. These words strike straight to the heart of every man's deepest desire, to stand out, not just to be liked or accepted, but to be chosen, to be recognized as unique in a world that constantly compares, competes, and commodifies. When a woman looks at a man with real presence and says, "You're different from the rest," she's not just complimenting him, she's elevating him. Because the truth is, most men don't hear this. They're often treated as interchangeable, judged by surface-level traits, measured by what they can offer, not who they are. But this sentence cuts through that noise. It tells him he's seen, not just for what he does, but for how he shows up, for the energy he brings, for the way he makes you feel, not like just any woman, but like the woman. When you tell a man he's different, you're appealing to his higher self. You're saying, "There's something about you that can't be copied." And that changes everything. It adds weight to the moment. It invites depth. It says this isn't just a connection, it's an exception. And men live for that kind of impact. It's not about comparing him to others with negativity. It's about letting him know he's carved a new path, that he's done what others couldn't, reach a part of you no one else has, that he's earned a space in your mind and your heart that no one else has occupied. And that's massive. That kind of affirmation makes him want to keep showing up, keep giving, keep growing. Not because you demand it, but because you've inspired it. You're different from the rest also implies that you have standards and that he's surpassed them. That in a sea of mediocrity, he brought presence. That in a world full of noise, he spoke truth. That in a time of games and confusion, he showed clarity. You're telling him, you're not typical, you're exceptional. And in that quiet moment before a kiss, when emotions are raw and real, these words become unforgettable. They validate everything he's been trying to be. They silence the doubts he hides. They reinforce that all the effort he's made to become the kind of man you'd respect and desire, it was worth it. Say it slowly, mean it deeply. Let him feel it vibrate through the space between you. Because when a man hears, "You're different from the rest," from a woman who means it, it doesn't just touch his ego, it touches his soul. In that instant, the kiss that follows won't be just physical. It'll be emotional, symbolic, a seal of recognition. A moment where two people don't just connect, but see each other. These words carry a pulse, a voltage, a spark that ignites something primal in a man's chest. It's not just about lust, it's about clarity. In a world full of mixed signals, second guessing, and emotional hesitation, a woman who speaks with this level of honesty and desire is unforgettable. When you say, "I want you right now," you're not just expressing physical attraction, you're revealing your power. The feminine power of presence, of choosing this moment, this man, this connection, with no filters, no fear, no hesitation. You're saying, "I'm not just open to you, I'm drawn to you fully, unapologetically." And for a man, It's magnetic. Because desire, when expressed with certainty, is one of the highest forms of connection. Men don't want to just chase endlessly, they want to feel chosen, desired, claimed. When you say these words, you're not just giving him permission, you're inviting him into your energy, into your experience, into something real and raw and unforgettable. It takes confidence to say this. It takes vulnerability too, because letting someone know you want them isn't just about seduction, it's about surrender. You're laying down your emotional armor and saying, I trust this moment. I trust you. And that level of openness changes everything. You're also giving him a gift, because in your voice he hears not just attraction, but admiration, not just longing, but respect. You're saying, you've done something right. You've made me feel something powerful. And now I'm here, fully present, fully alive, and I want you. That kind of honesty breaks through the surface. It deepens the kiss. It slows down time. It creates a moment that stays etched in memory, not because of what was said, but because of how real it felt. And here's what's truly powerful. When a woman owns her desire without shame, without playing small, without shrinking herself to seem chill or not too much, it wakes something up in a man. It makes him respect you more, crave you more, want to meet you at that same level of intensity. So when the energy is building, when the air between you feels electric, when silence is louder than words, lean in, hold his gaze, and say it, not as a tease, not as a test, but as truth. I want you right now. Let it be a declaration of presence, of surrender, of shared heat and mutual recognition, because in that moment, you're not just asking for a kiss, you're setting it on fire. And for a man, knowing that he's wanted, not just passively but completely, is the kind of moment he never forgets.